Hello, good morning. This is video log entry 69, and currently it is 8 a.m. CST. I don't know what was wrong with me yesterday, but I'm feeling a lot better, and it's weird. I don't know. Just like my emotions flipped like a switch and whatnot, but I started feeling better. It went back to a more heightened state, like at 2 o'clock, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. I don't know. My emotion, things are just a little bit messy as of now, so. Just because maybe it's probably just a state that like I said, this limbo state's kind of confusing, right? You know, it's just like I am putting a lot of work into changing my life and whatnot, and finding the right job, and things have been feeling a little bit more clear, and the stuff that has been happening in my life has been happening for a reason, of course, and I can see like a momentum shift and whatnot, and I can see a lot of things kind of aligning properly for what I need as of now. But it's just taking a little bit of time, and yesterday there was just a lot of self-doubt, and I had to remind myself that I've done a lot to get here, even though from the outside perspective, a lot of people would look at me and be like, this guy's a bloke, or he's a quote unquote loser, or somebody lazy, undisciplined, and all this other stuff. My parents see me as that. And my dad, every time I talk to him, he just keeps telling me to get my act together, because he still sees me as like how he saw me back then and what I was running towards, even though I started to realize, maybe that isn't actually what I want. And that's why I'm here, right? I'm trying to figure things out, but like what do I actually want from this world? And for a long time, I thought it was satisfying. I thought it was my desires, but it was my parents the whole time. And I had that feeling deep inside of me. I always told myself, it's like, yeah, this is what I want. And every time I tried going deeper, I was too scared to see the truth, I guess. And I had like 2 years of really bad depression because of that. And things finally started shifting, like 6 months ago, like actually changing. Like I wanted to start changing my life, and I decided to rewire my brain, essentially, my perception of the world and how I see it, what I want from this lifetime, I guess. So yeah, that's great, and I never thought I'd be here, but I am, and it looks like from my parents' perspective, especially with the things I'm looking at now, it looks like I'm reverting back, but I'm actually redirecting my compass to exponentially grow in this world. It just takes some time. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way as I do, if they are going through these paradigm shifts in life, So yeah, I don't know. So all that has been happening, and I just had I think the reason why I felt so bad was because recently I haven't been, the past couple of weeks, I've been so busy with just trying to get my shit together, that I've been forgetting about my own thoughts in my head, and I've been all of a sudden I just started writing my notebook, and I just wrote 3 pages of just random shit that I think would just that has been in my head that I had to get out, and I think that's what ultimately got myself back into a better state. Is writing all this shit in my head out and just getting it out, spilling. I'm not going to share, because it's kind of some of it's recurring problems that I've been seeing, and patterns that keep occurring in my life that I need to I've been processing emotions. I'm still having trouble with that, and I looked at videos about processing emotions, because man, it's been hard. There are just so many things I was unaware of in the back of my mind that I've left there for so long, and I'm slowly getting. Like I said, I've been reducing simulation. I got rid of my PC, and now I have this, and I think, and I stopped playing games, which I didn't think I'd do, but I did, because I knew there were a lot more important things that I had to take care of as of now, and who knows, I may go back to playing games depending on what I'm feeling, I guess. But yeah, that I had to make a lot of changes in my life to, to weed out all these horrible programs in my head, and so I'm slowly getting there. There's still a lot, because it is tiring. I had to take I took an hour and a half nap yesterday because I was exhausted. Like a lot of people would ask me like, why are you tired? You're not doing anything. It's like I am doing it. It's just all in my head, you know, all the thinking and just these shifts that are going on. And um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I just like I was trying to think. It was like what makes it hard for me to process emotions, and I think it's because I question them. I ask why am I feeling this way, because that's like I always have to go to the root of it. But sometimes you shouldn't just separate yourself from it and try to analyze your emotions, right? And that's a natural tendency of mine, is to separate myself from a given stimuli and ask why. That's just how my brain works. And I've been trying to do that less because it's been hurting me quite a bit. Now that I realize it, because like, yeah, so I'm trying to do that more. I'm trying to, I think I'm asking why too early, if that makes sense. Because you can ask why after you go through it, right? But for me, I asked too early, and I separated myself from it. I look at it and say, oh yeah, that's why I'm feeling this way. Intellectualizing, basically, right? And then I would just let it go back into my subconscious until it comes back, and I'd ask the same things like, oh, I'm feeling this way, so I have to do this, and then it just keeps coming because I'm not processing it. I think I have to. My brain thinks I have to do a practical solution that'll take those emotions out, but I actually have to go through them, right? And so I'm trying to do that more often. I mean, like, that's the main thing. I've been more compassionate towards myself. There's a lot of doubts going through my head, and I had to go through these words of reassurance. I was like, James, you've done so much in the past year. You've changed so much, and it may not seem like there's much outside of you that's changed. Okay, even like right now, this is quite a bit. Like as you guys have known already, I've done a lot. I've changed quite a bit, even in the physical world. Like I moved. Like I said, I moved 700 miles away. I've been a lot more productive. I've been working. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that are even changing in my immediate life. That still may seem small from other people's perspectives. I see it as small because I used to have these grandiose dreams of, being like some theoretical physicist or just some crazy thing. Like, I don't know. Like I had big dreams, and I think I was self-sabotaging myself by having such big dreams, unreal, at least as of now. And also I wasn't proactive about it either. Like I would dream about it and be like, oh, that would be nice, but I wouldn't sit down and actually think about how to get there and create goals to reach that particular dream. And those dreams that I had, I don't think were actually mine. I want dreams that I feel like are actually mine. And I was like, I also, this self-sabotaging thing, I kind of self-sabotaged myself when that warehouse, that offer that I had, that I said I'll think about, I was essentially self-sabotaging. I should have just said yes, right? Well, okay. I'm not sure if it's self-sabotaging or if it was something that I shouldn't have done. But, it seemed, I don't know, I think my brain it seemed too good to be true. And that was the reason why I essentially denied it in my head. It was like, I don't deserve something like this, or like for some reason I have these depictions of things that I feel like I'm not worthy of, even though I still have these big dreams, which are, much bigger than warehouse position, Union's warehouse position. But I don't know, I keep self-sabotaging, and I'm trying to figure that one out. Like, it's really bad. And it's not just, I self-sabotage because it's not just that. It's not just the fact that I feel like I'm unworthy of happiness, but also the fact that I feel like I have this perfectionist attitude, and I know if I have a job, I'm gonna make mistakes. It's normal for anybody to do that, right? And I have this negative attitude towards me not being perfect, right? Even though I know, like, that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn things. You have to make mistakes, and I used to avoid a lot of things that were too challenging, or things that seemed too unpredictable for me to properly analyze, to be perfect at it. So I'm trying to work on that too. I'm trying to be more open towards the unpredictability of the world, and just being here, right? Being present. And that's working. And I was just looking at the different positions that I really want. And this summer, I also opened my mind towards summer seasonal positions that'll be starting in May and June. And I'm fine with waiting 1 or 2 months of not having a job. Part of me wants to start now, but sometimes I think I'm willing to wait for a little bit longer because I did find some pretty good seasonal jobs over at the park district that I'm in right now. The pay's not too well, but I am sure I can negotiate a higher salary with my experience working in a park for like 3 years, and I've done event stuff. I've coordinated programs. No, programs. I mean, small event things, and I've helped out with setting up events, and I've done event planning to an extent. I've helped out with event planning and brainstorming those things and doing logistics and whatnot. So I do. This is more of an event assistant. I'm fine with being an event assistant, even though I could see myself being the coordinator of an event. I've always liked event coordination. I like planning things out and seeing it come into fruition. I don't know. It feels kind of nice. So that I and also like the nice thing is that I'm going to be on my feet and it's going to be outside. A lot of outside events. Weekends and nights though, which is fine. It could last until 12 a.m. They have movie events and whatnot, so there's going to be a lot of that, and I'm fine with that. I told myself that I want a normal schedule, but I think I want a normal schedule to kind of fix things that were needed to move on, right? And I've done most of that inner work and like I guess habit shifts, and I've been again like I had to go through all this to figure that stuff out. Yeah. Yeah, I was, what was I looking at? Oh yeah, I guess I was like, maybe I should start planning out my weeks more often. I plan out my days and then my days started, it felt structured and then it started deconstructing. It started getting looser. I don't know what's a good word for that. But it was like, it was pretty structured and then it's been kind of, I think it was because, I don't know. I realized that, well, I've been applying to all this stuff that I liked, and I needed some structure to apply to those things. I'm losing sight of the things that seem worth applying to. So that's why it's becoming looser, and there's a reason behind that too. But whatever. So that's fine, and I'm not going to force myself to have structure when I don't need it as of now, right? It's good practice though. It's good practice because you're practicing discipline by saying I'm going to do this at this time at this day, no later than whatever, right? So it is good to do, and I've done that, and I can keep doing that if I want to. I know I can do it. I know I have the discipline to do that now, which I didn't have just last year. I was a mess. I was a mess. I'm much better now, but yeah, like obligations and whatnot. And I was telling myself, it's like, okay, there are a lot of other thoughts that I keep thinking about, which a lot of people already know of Dagger Eyes. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting them out of my head. I think I'm just like, I had to let it seep into my mind for a little bit before it starts disappearing again. So I'm not going to force it out. I'm just gonna be there, like my emotions, right? I have to do the same thing with my thoughts. It's either write it down, and I've written things down about them, and I've written a lot of. I've been brainstorming about how to do certain things and whatnot that I don't feel like getting into the details about because it's kind of weird, but I don't care. Anyway, so I've been doing that, and it's not consuming my life. It can consume like a couple of hours of my day, because it just keeps coming in, and you can't just push it out because it's going to come back even stronger, right? So I was like, okay, fine, we can just take a break, we can daydream or whatever you want to do. But I don't know, it's been working because because usually people are like, oh, I have to push my thoughts out away to do my work. But when you kind of like seep into your emotions or your thoughts and whatnot, and you just let them kind of blossom, I guess, you come back a lot stronger. And I don't know how it works. Maybe it's like the conservation of energy, right? of course, if you guys know physics and the conservation of energy, there's like a certain amount of energy in the world, and if you decide to dissipate this much energy into this, you're putting it. Okay, let's say you're putting this much energy into like work, and then you have some other energy that is focused on something that you don't want. Well, that's fine, because eventually that energy on work that wasn't that was taken over by those thoughts and feelings goes into another part of the time domain that is then I don't know, this is more intuitive. I don't know why I'm feeling this, but that's what it seems like, is that you come back 2 times stronger just by letting those things go through your head. And I've been trying to just do that, because you can't like, I used to try to control my mind in ways that seemed impossible, and it just, especially with things like that, anyways, this doesn't, I don't know how to verbalize it too well, but maybe that makes sense to some people. I'm sure there's another way to say it, but yeah, but like summer is just right around the corner. It's crazy, and I don't know, I keep having these pictures of like leaves and sunlight and a lot of greenery and just a lot of running and just being outside, and that makes my heart flutter, just being outside and feeling free, right? I think the closest place to feeling free is working in a park district, especially in a city, because you're running around everywhere. You may not even be tied into one locale, so it's going to be a lot of running around the city, and you're going to be on your feet, and it's somewhat simulating because you're around a lot of different people. You're doing a lot of different, it's versatile, and there are a lot of unpredictable situations that you may have to think of on your feet. And I've kind of always liked that, I used to get overwhelmed a lot. It was because I had a lot of things in my head that I had to sort out. So I had anyways, whatever. But I'm feeling a lot better. That's all I can say. Yesterday I don't know what was going on, but it was just, what happens. You have your ups and downs, I guess, right? And there was a guy on the comments that it was like Tim something, and he said that you should just do small things just to just at least feel like no zero-sum days, I guess, to feel like you're doing something. And that's what I did, actually. I did that yesterday, and that helped out with kind of, I was still doing things. It wasn't like I was like laying in bed all day because of those thoughts and emotions and whatnot. So I couldn't be productive in the way I wanted to, but I was still productive. Yeah, I was just, man, I was writing a lot. This is too much. Like I had a whole notebook of it, because I couldn't write in my notepad because it was just too much, right? It was like a few pages on the notebook, 2 pages, front and back. Plus I was writing on my notepad because I just had to keep writing that. I realized that I had too many thoughts to write on my notepad, so. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I'm feeling good though, and I keep doing these things, these habits that are helping me out with whatever's going on in my head. And doormat, I'm looking for a doormat in leather gloves. Oh God, I don't really need leather gloves now, but it would be good for next winter, I guess. So I'll eventually do that. When I have like a random errand list that I'll eventually get, like I don't need a doormat because I sweep here anyways. It would be nice to have like one of those portable vacuums though, because I have a lot of sand accumulation on the bottom of my futon, because sometimes I sleep with my socks on and there's a hole in my shoe, and I walk on the beach a lot with those. I need new shoes. I do need new shoes as well. So I have a lot of stuff I need to get still, and it's whatever, it's whatever. And I was thinking about like people I've been kind of like separating myself from, that I want to reconnect with. One of them was actually a coworker at the park I used to be at, and she was really nice. She was like 70 years old. She would always talk about her kids though, but apparently I was a good ear. I was good at pretending to be a good ear, because a lot of the time I was in my head, and I wasn't much of a talker, conversationalist. So a lot of the time when I would show up for work, if I were working with her in the morning or the evening after the manager would leave, we'd just sit around and we'd just chat, and I'd listen to her. And she knew I had a lot of problems. She knew I was depressed back then. And she sympathized with me. It was nice. It was a nice connection. In that way, at least. Again, like, she was much older than me, so she had a lot of phrases that I was completely unaware of. But we had fun. We would always joke around. And then there was this other guy too. They lived in like the same neighborhood or something. And then he moved away to another place. And I don't know. He was somebody I had a pretty deep connection with, actually. Even though he was, again, like 2 times my age. No, sorry, 3 times my age. He was like in his 70s too. I seem to resonate with older people a lot. I don't know why. I mean, I'm pretty mature, so like I'm not really. I do feel like an old soul, quote unquote old soul. So I tend to talk to. I don't know. I feel. Yeah, I don't know. So I did. I resonated with. I could never. I don't know. Like, there are a lot of young people out there. I'm sure there are a lot of young people like me as well. But then most young people that I run into, they just seem so spontaneous and just like, there are a lot of things that they put on their plate that they don't need to have on their plate. And due to my simplistic observation of the world and how I just kind of want a normal, happy life, there are a lot of people who don't want that. They want to just tear themselves apart. I've seen this everywhere. It's like, again, like kind of like a self-sabotaging thing that's going on, and they feel like, I don't know, like there are a lot of people I've seen that are not even aware of the fact that they're just destroying their life. And I guess, like, to some extent I was kind of like that. I mean, I was aware of that in the back of my head, and there were just a lot of people like that and I was in a relationship like that as well. They were just, I was there for too long. I was in a relationship with somebody that was unaware of a lot of things and that I was aware of, and I tried to verbalize it to them, but they couldn't understand it. So we had a lot of conflict, a lot. And that's why I've always had trouble with romantic relationships and whatnot, because it seems like most people just don't understand the things that I see. So I've given up on most communication. And that's why I usually stay quiet for the most part. I watch instead. It's hysterical watching people. The patterns are like just. I don't know. I don't know how to. And like the thing is, like, you want to help them, but you can't, because they have to come into. They have to be aware. They have to go into that state of consciousness to see it, right? Because if you say it to them, they're gonna. Well, I mean, it's gonna look like that you're attacking them. Honestly, they're gonna take it personally. They always take it personally. They don't know what else to do, so they attack you, or they try to insult you or break your ego or whatever. I don't know. But yeah. Again, I was looking at the self-doubt that I have in my head a lot, so weeding that out mainly. Anyways, okay. I think that's it. It's been about 23 minutes. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.